Well, a local college senior who grew up with a disability is using his experience to help kids dealing with the same thing.
He was born with just one hand. News 4's Melissa Mollet has more on the student's uplifting and unique undertaking.
What makes Trace Wilson unique isn't his disability, it's his drive. He's taking 18 credits, graduating from George Mason in May, but has found the time to write a children's book that's taking off and helping kids across the country. Trace Wilson is very much like your average 21-year-old. He loves playing video games. He's in a fraternity, into weightlifting, DJing, but he's also incredible at adapting. Trace was born without a right hand.
My mom remembers me having a moment of clarity at one point when I was little and kind of suddenly realizing it myself and then asking her, well, why do I have one hand?
The questions could be hurtful.
I was always given a few scripted responses for whenever other kids or adults, anyone asked, and it was, this is how I was made, or this is how I was born.
A few years back, Trace decided he wanted to help other kids like him.
If I help one child get through a rough patch or help them understand their disability or their difference, then, I mean, my goal's been met.
The idea for a book came during a family road trip.
I wrote the whole story in the car, and it kind of sat in the notes application on my phone for I think 2-3 years.
A Kickstarter campaign brought in about $5,000 to pay an illustrator and a publisher.
Before half of the deadline was up to raise the donations, I had already raised everything I needed.
Everything he needed for Uniquely Me.
Once there was a little boy who only had one hand.
The boy in the story sets out on an adventure to understand why he's different.
Snake, the boy asked, why don't I have two hands?
And in the end realizes he's not different, but unique.
They don't have to worry about being different because it's not a bad thing. It's just a different thing.
Teaching kids to accept their limb differences and giving parents a little help.
I've gotten a lot of very ecstatic and enthusiastic reactions from kids and parents.
Parents like Connecticut's Nicole LaSalle, whose 4-year-old Mila loves Uniquely Me.
Why do I get two hands, fish?
Mila was born without part of her right hand. Her mom says when Mila first saw the book, her eyes lit up and her jaw dropped.
We have many limb difference books, but this one she really connected to.
The book, released last month, is being printed locally. It's in the GMU bookstore, online, at Barnes & Noble, Books A Million. Trace has sold more than 700 copies so far and is planning to now print 1,000 more.
People are walking into stores and buying. It's kind of surreal.
In Fairfax County, Melissa Mollet, News 4.
And we've posted a link to the book on our NBC Washington app. Just search Uniquely Me.